Hello, everybody. Welcome to Political Football. My name is Dave. I'm here with Scott and Clev. We're going to preview the AFC North and NFC North divisions today. Season preview, what the teams are looking for, trying to accomplish, which teams are going to fail, which teams are going to succeed. Scott, how you doing today?
I'm doing well. How are you guys? Good to see you both.
Yeah. I'm good. Cleve, how are you doing?
Dave's tagline says it all. If anyone can see that, it's. I can't believe this is a real place. Like, we live in a real place.
Yeah, this is now I do want to be clear. I don't want any stolen valor here. I am actually in Alexandria, Virginia. I'm not actually broadcasting live from Washington, but still, it's right there. It impacts daily life around here and all that. So still want to get that up on the screen so everybody can see it there. So Cleve, I know that last night you watched New Heights. You watched all 90 minutes of Taylor Swift announcing her new album. What did you think?
Sure, I did. I have no idea what you're talking about.
So in the season,
I'm not a Swiftie. I don't. Huh?
I was gonna say in the season we don't we do the show on Wednesday nights, and last night New Heights on YouTube had 1.2 million concurrent viewers.
Do we need to inform one of your co-hosts what you're talking about?
So New Heights is the Kelsey Brothers.
I saw you roll
podcast.
Your eyes, by the way.
Yeah. So New Heights is the Kelsey Brothers podcast. They teased the day before on Tuesday that Taylor Swift was going to be the guest yesterday for a live show. Then Caitlin Clark tweeted yesterday, "Is the internet about to break tonight?" So last night they knew something was going to happen. Taylor Swift did announce her new album, title, track list, date it's releasing, all that on the New Heights podcast live. They had 1.2 million viewers live on YouTube.
Jesus,
she couldn't have waited a day and come on here.
Amazing.
Like, come on.
Yeah. I mean, I had my people reach out to her people. My people is my cat, and she doesn't know how to email, so it didn't go very well.
Well, we tried.
Yeah, we certainly tried. But yeah, incredible. So if they had announced they were going to do that show tonight, I don't think they would have stolen it from our audience. But I might have been like, you guys, we have to do this on Wednesday. I don't know if we want to go head to head with the Kelseys and Taylor Swift, because that could be really bad.
Wow.
Also really bad. It's actually a good transition into the AFC North. Cleve, what team do I have finishing fourth place in the AFC North?
I have no clue. I am clueless.
How's that for you? The Cleveland Browns. Now, first of those, a couple things. You'll notice a couple things different. First, the quality of the graphic. They aren't perfect. They are much better.
Yeah. I actually like it. If I'm not mistaken, the colors do match the team colors do match this, right?
Yes, they are a lot better. They are a lot better this week. Hang on one second here. My Wi-Fi is.
You missed a treat last week, Scott.
Yeah,
we had colorway for different teams. Like we had like the Seahawks colors on like the Eagles. It was great.
Blame the printer.
Yeah, it was. They're a lot better this week. And also, I did take my wife's advice and put them into PowerPoint here, so they fill up more of the screen and all that. So it should be a bit more professional looking. But if you notice under where it says record 2024 3-14 quarterbacks, the biggest question isn't there. It just disappears. There is some stuff like that, but the other information is correct. So we have some
pretty nice.
Yeah, so I thought it was getting a little slicker here. So I have Cleveland here finishing fourth in the AFC North. This is not a case where I think this team could surprise and win more games and shock some people. I think this team sucks, and they're going to lose a bunch of games in a tough division. I don't see much hope for them. I think they'll be picking the top 5 again next year, trying to find their quarterback solution. I just really don't have anything good to say about this team at all, besides Myles Garrett plays for them on the field, off the field, or anything. Scott, am I being too bearish here?
A little bit. It was a really weird offseason for them that continued into today. Quinshon Judkins is not going to have any legal action taken against him. That doesn't mean he's clear from NFL discipline, but they also signed Isaiah Bond this afternoon because it was announced that he wasn't going to get any discipline for his off the field stuff either. And it's just, so they're free agents. Everything around about this team just feels, it just feels off. I do like the idea that they did get a first round pick from Jacksonville to go from 2 to 5 in the draft. So you do have 2 first round picks coming, but the question is who's, what are you doing at quarterback? You took 2 quarterbacks in the draft. You took Dylan Gabriel in round 3. You took Shedeur Sanders in round 5. You took 2 running backs, one in round 2 and one in round 4, I believe. Judkins was an early 2nd round pick. I want to say Dylan Sampson was a early 4th round pick.
That is correct.
I like Mason Graham a lot. I think he's going to be a very, very effective football player in the NFL. But for a 1-year situation, it's just there. I don't know what they're going to do. I have no idea what's happening there. I really have no clue.
Cleve, if a team's quarterback room is 49-year-old Joe Flacco, Kenny Pickett, Dylan Gabriel, and Shedeur Sanders.
And Deshaun Watson.
And Deshaun Watson.
Yeah.
What's the most games a team like that can win? 4?
I mean, 3. I would say 3. Very crowded quarterback room, as you guys just mentioned. And each one of these guys is dealing with something because old man Flacco has he has the pedigree, but he's long in the tooth. Mm-hmm. Shedeur is kind of like an unproven product. We haven't seen Dylan Gabriel yet on the field. We just have his college stuff. And it's funny that him and Pickett are both dealing with hamstring injuries, which you guys know can be nagging. So now Shedeur is he has some kind of strain, if I heard that right.
Yeah.
So yeah. So who are they trotting out for this next preseason game? Because you don't want to get Flacco hurt.
Did they sign Tyrod Taylor?
One of these guys got to go.
Somebody like that.
Yeah, I think they signed Tyrod.
They did grab somebody for this kind of stuff. I think the only hope here is that let's play fantasy land for a moment. Let's say Shedeur does work and he starts the back half of the season and it's reasonable. You have 2 first-round picks to build around him. You're paying him nothing. That's a very big deal.
Pretty much.
But
yeah,
is that likely to happen? No. But I mean, it could. So, for this season, if you're a Browns fan, you want them to have you want them to have the first pick. That's really the only way out of this.
Yeah. They're so used to getting the first pick, because you guys are good now. So how many picks go there to die? How many? Yeah, I had it. It wasn't a brash shot across the temple. It's but to your point though, in all seriousness, it's like if I hear you guys right, you're saying that this is like a year 0 because of this quarterback room situation, or just they stockpiled all these picks, but in no particular order to make sense. So it's like, what do they do? And I agree with Dave. They may get 4 games. I mean,
so here's the thing.
That's like somebody having a really bad game.
It's not year 0. It's year -1. Next year is year 0.
Yeah.
Wow. So they're still digging out of shit.
Well, they're digging out of the Deshaun Watson problem.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they're still digging out.
And it would not be a great scenario for them to be winning football games this year. You don't want to take yourself out of contention to be taking whoever is going to be quarterback 1 if they're in contention to do that. You want to be there. It's nice to have that extra.
Then the guy you got to talk. But then the guy you got to talk to is Myles Garrett because you sold him a whole bunch of bullshit to keep him to resign him. Like he resigned for a winning season or at least to compete. And you're telling this guy like, hey, one more year before we even do that, before we get to year zero.
Two more years before they can even be somewhat competitive.
Yeah. So hopefully you can keep that guy's, keep him interested and stick around,
Or I don't know the structure of the contract, but they could also move him next offseason if they get their quarterback for like
they gave
3
him so
more
much money. I'm
picks.
sure he's fine.
Yeah,
he got a lot of money.
Yeah, I mean, and again, you just got to keep him like, hey, listen, just hang in there. It's gonna get better. But again, like from what you guys said, which I didn't factor in, that's like 2028.
Yeah.
Like, what?
Yeah, the Browns might be competing in this division in time for the next election, assuming there are presidential elections going forward. I asked ChatGPT to create some questions about the teams. So I have one here for the Browns. I'm going to ask it. I'm also going to answer it because you'll see why. The question is, will the new pass catchers and tackles give the offense enough efficiency to win low-margin AFC North games? The answer is no. Cleve, what team do you think I have in third place in the AFC North?
The Bengals? Oh.
It is the Pittsburgh Steelers.
Hey.
So
right,
the Steelers could win 10 games this year. Well, so the thing is that they're bad. Their quarterback is bad. Their running backs are bad. They have one good wide receiver. Like they're going to struggle a lot. They've won 10 games the last 8 years. They should have won like 6 in all those years.
Are you not a Caleb Johnson guy?
No, I like running backs that can run.
Oh my God.
No. Yeah, no. Caleb Johnson looks like a running back, moves like a Looney Tune, and not the Tasmanian Devil. Like he's not good in any. And like I'm just not impressed with him at all. I wasn't impressed with him in Iowa. Like it's just not. He's not an impressive prospect.
Is he a straight line guy? Is he a wiggle guy? Like what is it? What don't you like about it? The running. He's big.
He's big, but he's nowhere near as fast as he should be. His pass protection was horrible at Iowa. It's probably horrible now. Aaron Rodgers doesn't want to get killed. Jaylen Warren will be on the field most of the snaps anyways, and Jaylen Warren is fine. But like Arthur Smith is still offensive coordinator. They traded away George Pickens. They traded for DK Metcalf. So DK Metcalf is good. They went and got Jonnu Smith. So I guess all the problems are solved.
He's 225 pounds and he's sub 4'6". He's plenty fast enough for his size.
Sub 4'6" is not plenty fast at all. Dave, like it's just not
225 pounds.
Yeah, he's a Jag.
Oh my God.
He's just the guy.
I'm sorry, Dave. If I need you to convert on if it's let's say it's 3rd and 6, or I'm sorry, it's 2nd and 6. You can't get 6 yards. He can't get 6 yards.
I mean, if he plays behind the 1990s Dallas offensive line.
No, I'm just saying like you're saying that he's not a breakaway speed guy. He's not gonna.
If it's 2nd and 6 from your own 34, he might get you 6 yards. He's never getting you 66 yards.
Well, that's what I'm saying. So is that what you don't like about him? That he's not a breakaway guy? Like
also his vision isn't very good.
He's just not
very good. Like he's just not very good at being a running back, right? He's got some size to him. He is fast for his size as a human, but he's not like so. He's 225, but he runs a high 4.5s. So the elite running back, Saquon 233 runs a 4.3. Derrick Henry is 255, runs a 4.5 flat. Like. If you're going to be big and fast, like you have to be really, really fast. He's just kind of there. He's not Brandon Jacobs. Like he's not. He's a Jag. He's just like a big guy.
I think there's something there. Like we may have to before the season starts. You and I have to probably put something together, a bet or something that he has a breakout game or something. Because like the way you're killing this guy, I'm very interested to see what he can do.
Take Najee Harris,
just for shit.
Take away most of his college production, almost all of his college pass catching, and his pass blocking ability, and then put him on the Steelers. There you go. That's what you got. They replaced Najee Harris with shitty Najee Harris.
Okay. All right.
Yeah. So I'm not impressed by Caleb Johnson at all. I'm not impressed by whatever dust ball wide receivers are running out there next to DK Metcalf. Their quarterback is a downgrade. Going from Justin Fields to Aaron Rodgers is a downgrade.
Oh my god!
So are you saying this is the year Tomlin gets fired?
I don't think Tomlin's going to get fired this year. I think Mike Tomlin will either leave after this year, or with this good quarterback class, they might actually try to go get a good young quarterback again. Like they'll be able to reset it with a good quarterback prospect. Or
he rushed for like 1,500 plus yards and 21 touchdowns last year
on Iowa. Yes,
okay.
Yes, exactly. So they always have a great offensive line. Iowa's head coach is the best offensive line coach in all of football anywhere. They always have good offensive linemen. They always have really great tight ends. Anybody can run at Iowa. I'm not impressed that she ran for a bunch of yards at Iowa. Right?
Okay.
It's fine.
If this kid has a good season, Dave, I'm gonna bury you, bro. I'm telling you, I'm gonna bury you because I'm a running back guy. So if this guy has a good season, I'm not talking like rookie of the year and all that shit. I'm talking like a good, decent. He rushes for 1,000 yards. Yeah, you're not going to hear the end of it. I'm just letting you know that right now.
Caleb Johnson ran for 1,500 yards and 20 touchdowns, which was still a third-round pick. The reason for that is because he showed up to the combine and was ass. And we saw him in the preseason game, he was ass. Like, things because at Iowa, he was just playing at Iowa. Like, it's not there's something special about him. He's not going to be bad. I've drafted him sometimes in best ball. He's not going to be a horrible player, right? He's not going to be out of the league in 2 years, right? But he's not going to be any sort of difference maker. They will have another starting running back on this team next year competing with him. Like, it's not going to be Caleb Johnson who locks this down next year. They are going to sign Breece Hall or somebody else in the offseason or draft somebody in the second round next year. That's all I'm saying. Like, so I'm kind of killing the kid because he's not going to save the running game for the Steelers. But he's not he's not going to be driving Uber in 2026 either.
I can't believe Mason Rudolph is still on this roster. I just can't believe that he's still in the league. I can't.
I bet he and Aaron Rodgers get along really well.
I bet they do.
I didn't think of that, but yeah.
I bet if we could hack their private chat and release it to the public, it might be pretty interesting.
Suspension worthy.
Maybe not to Roger Goodell, but maybe public pressure would allow. I mean, I guess John Gruden got fired, so yeah, maybe. Yeah, I just don't see anything to like about this team really, except for the defense, of course. But they're not going to like compete with the Bengals and the Ravens. The Ravens are just better, right? So that's the reason I have them in third. Could the Steelers win 10 games again? Yeah, they could. The Bengals could choke again, but the Steelers' ceiling this year is the ceiling every year for the last 5 years. They'll win 10 games. They'll be the 7th seed. They'll go on the road in the first round and get absolutely obliterated by Kansas City or Buffalo or Baltimore or whoever.
What would they have to win to make a playoff berth? Like a wild card is like, what would they have to like 12
in
games?
this division, this conference, probably 11. 10 last year was pretty lucky.
11. Okay, so if they can actually pull off the 10 win again, they could split a game and they could actually creep in and make some, not disrupt anything, but they can actually make the playoffs.
If they win 10 games and 2 of the wins are sweeping the Bengals, they can make the playoffs with 10 wins.
Because I don't think the Bengals is going to make. I don't think the Bengals is going to make the playoffs, bro. That's why I asked that question, and we'll discuss the Bengals probably next.
Sure. Yeah. Thoughts on the Steelers, specifically their defense, but also anything else you want to touch on here?
Me?
Yes, you.
I think we're good. I think we can move on.
Okay, so Scott does not want to have to defend Aaron Rodgers on air.
Why would I be defending Aaron Rodgers?
Because I think he's a downgrade.
I like what they did a couple years ago with Zach Frazier and Mason McCormick. I think when you look at, you mentioned their first preseason game, they had nobody playing on their offensive line. I think part of the Caleb Johnson stuff is that you are buying the Steelers offensive line. I don't know what Rodgers is going to do. I have no clue. the Metcalf thing was interesting, and they gave him a bunch of money and an extension. I mean, they have a good defense. This is a tough division.
Yes,
yeah,
I agree.
Tough.
Yeah, the Browns are garbage, but again, the Steelers aren't going to be a bad team, but they're not going to do anything more than they've done recently. Even if they overperform what I think, they're still just getting crushed in the first round by an actual good team. Okay. Let's see here. Obviously, you guys know I'm going to have the Ravens as winning the division. That shocks absolutely nobody. So the Cincinnati Bengals I have as the next team here. Cleve, are you shocked to see they only finished one game behind the Steelers last year?
Yeah, I'm shocked at that.
They opened like 1-5 last year, and they went on a tear to end the season.
Yeah, I mean they're kind of like that boxer that starts slow and then like he starts to come on like fourth round, which you can't always do that. And they shouldn't do that. But if they do that, then I think the Steelers take their spot. But yeah, it's crazy.
Yeah, so the thing about the Bengals is that their defense is going to be absolutely horrific. But they kind of know that. They put all the money into the offense. This isn't a team that's going to be shocked by their horrific defense. They know they just need to, can we just keep the other teams to 27? And if we do that, we have a chance. So I think there is one thing about it's kind of how the Lions ended last year. At the end of the season last year, the Lions were like, we can't really stop anybody. Let's keep them to 30 and try to beat them. And then the Commanders put 45 up, right? I feel like the Bengals are going to be all season trying to do that, but they have the offensive personnel, Scott, to be able to do that.
Yeah, I mean, part of their offseason was re-signing Jamar Chase and T. Higgins and bringing those guys back, which I'm not sure a lot of people thought they were going to be able to do that. But then there's also all the drama that's gone on the entire offseason around Trey Hendrickson and his contract situation, and then their first-round pick, Shamar Stewart, and his contract situation. And there's so many self-inflicted wounds that this team is just happy to inflict upon themselves based on what they do with money. They could have saved themselves, I think it's right around $10 million if they would have per year, if they would have signed Chase and Higgins a year ago. Trey Hendrickson was awesome last year and 2 years ago, and you kind of pissed that guy off. And I don't want to say he's really all they have on defense, but they really need him. You drafted a player in round one and then alienated him by talking about not wanting to pay him if he's ever sitting in jail. It's bizarre, the things that they do. You guys mentioned them having to get off to a hot start. They're one of the teams that sits all their players in the preseason, and maybe they've taken a little bit of lesson of the last couple of years. The slow starts are a problem for them. They can't start slow. Mm-hmm. So we're going to hopefully see Burrow get in rhythm and start week one in rhythm instead of kind of behind the sticks a touch. Still, Dave, you're right. This defense is bad. And, if you like offensive football, this is a good team to watch. They're fun. Chase Brown should have a great year. Burrow should have a great year. Those guys should go nuts.
I think the Bengals and Steelers are just kind of mirror images of each other. One has offense, one has defense, but not really the other.
Yeah.
I just feel like Joe Burrow is so good. I'm going to side with the elite quarterback in this situation.
Yeah.
Also, I think they'll finish one game apart again, 10-7, 9-8, 9-8, 8-9, right? The Steelers go to Detroit. The Bengals get the Lions at home. And I feel like if they just split the other way, like with Detroit, because the Steelers ain't beating Detroit, right? The Bengals could get the Lions in Cincinnati. And if they pull off something like that, then that probably just separates them enough from the Steelers to get them there. But really, these teams could be tied for second and third in this division to me. They're nowhere near as bad as the Browns. They're nowhere near as good as the Ravens. They're kind of right with each other. Cleve, does that make sense?
Yeah, actually it does. You know what I think about? And I don't know if we ever, since we've been on this show, if we've ever had scenarios or alternate universe takes where like Lamar's not playing or Burrow's not playing, because I'm looking at the backup Joe Browning. I never even heard of that guy. I assume he's the backup. He might be third string. I don't know, but you have him here as quarterback. Because that changes things, the complexity of things a lot if a guy goes down. I mean, Mason Rudolph has played in Pittsburgh. He knows the system there. Can he?
And he's not much worse than Aaron Rodgers now.
Yeah. So can he beat a Ravens team without Lamar? Like, I mean, the defense will stay the defense. So to Scott's point, so yeah, I just think about all it takes is one of these guys to get knocked out, and then this entire thing that we're doing just gets put on its ear.
Yes and no. So there are two things that we know for certain. We know that key players in the league are going to get hurt and miss significant time and also the course of the season. We also know that we can't know who that's going to be. So given those two truths, we can only judge based on how things are right now. There are very few players where you can be like, that guy's going to get hurt. Maybe something like Brandon Ayuk's not coming back to week 6 at a minimum off the really bad knee injury. He may not be right at all this year. We're discussing San Francisco. But we can't be like, oh, Lamar's going to get hurt or Burrow's going to get hurt or whoever's going to get hurt. So,
no, I mean, I'm pretty sure in every organization, they're having that conversation as a contingency. That's like, hey, if this guy goes down, what do we got? Like, what do we do to right the ship? Because if it happens
Bengals
early,
are in deep shit if they lose Burrow.
Every quarterback in the NFL.
Thank you.
Every team in the NFL is in deep shit if they lose their quarterback or they're already in deep shit.
Yeah.
So
yeah, I guess
it doesn't matter. Like it really doesn't matter. We remember the instances where quarterbacks come in and they fill in great Nick Foles, Jeff Hostetler,
the great Chad Henne.
Yeah, Chad Henne came up for like a game. That guy that came in from Brady, Matt Castle. Like, remember when
Matt Castle, dude, fucking got a payday
because it's so rare, right? If you have a good quarterback and they get hurt, you're dead. And if your quarterback gets hurt and you're like in the same spot, you were never going to do anything to begin with. So that's just sort of a given going into the analysis. So we could say it for any team. I mean, if Jared Goff tears his ACL in week 1, the Lions are not going to the Super Bowl. It doesn't matter how much everybody else is, right? So why I agree with you that is very important since we can't know what it is. The place where I will say that it can impact is things like the top of the draft, right? Let's take Houston. Maybe Houston is a 9-win team this year with CJ Stroud. And then Stroud gets hurt. And now they're a 3-win team. And now they're like into a position they never should have been in the first place with their draft pick next year. And they get some crazy good player to go on their team.
There's an example of that happening, I think, right now. The Rams.
Yes.
The Rams could be one of those teams that has a really early pick because Stafford's back issues are significantly more problematic than I think most people are understanding at this time. Think about how good that team is on both sides of the ball and having a very early pick.
Yeah.
And Atlanta's first round pick.
Yeah.
Like, that's what you're talking about, Dave. That
yes, exactly. So, like, if Mahomes goes out week 1, the Chiefs are going to win 9 games, pick in the middle, whatever, get Mahomes back. And then if Spencer Rattler gets, like, who cares who's the quarterback of the Saints? It could be one of us. Like, it doesn't matter. They're going to win 2 games, right? So I think it matters more sort of in that, like, that middle, maybe getting somebody in for a better pick later. Speaking of quarterbacks that absolutely cannot get hurt or the season's going to be no fun, Baltimore Ravens. My AFC team with my favorite player in the league, Mr. Lamar Jackson. Every year I pick the Ravens to win the Super Bowl on the show. I don't think this year's going to be any different. I love the way this team operates. I love the way that they do things. Aside from the Lamar Jackson contract, I didn't like that very much, but I love the way they draft, the way they acquire talent. I just think that they're fantastic. I think that they're run in a great way. John Harbaugh is a fantastic coach. I just don't see this team falling off in any way. Scott, is there any way besides injuries to key players that the Ravens don't win this division, even though the division is tough?
I don't know about the division because, I mean, I think a team like Cincinnati, if they get hot and get, just enough on defense, that's a very dangerous offense. But realistically, Baltimore is the cream of the crop in this division. And you add a player like Malachi Starks, you get Mike Green in round 2. You have Lamar Jackson. Derrick Henry. You have a really good defense. This is one of the best teams in football. But they need to exercise some demons when it comes to playoff time. This group, they do.
Yes. And by exercise some demons, you mean catch the football.
It would have been nice if Mark Andrews would have caught the ball last year,
and the year before when Zay Flowers fumbled at the 1-inch line. It was the game-winning touchdown. Yeah.
And it's just still that, as a group, they have to overcome. I would think that it's reasonable for them to finish better than 12-5 this year. They're a great football team. What else do you say?
Yeah, I mean, they're really good. You mentioned adding Malachi Starks, Clev. He was for most people, he was the top safety in the draft. They get him at number 30 in the first round. They added Jair Hill, who's past his prime, but still going to be a very useful piece for their secondary. I don't see any way this team falls off. Mm-hmm. Yeah, he's still there. He's only 28.
Wow.
Who?
Dude.
Jair Hill. Jair Alexander.
No.
Jair Hill plays for Michigan. Jair Alexander.
No, I'm talking about Hopkins. Isn't it Nuke Hopkins?
Yes. Nuke Hopkins is on the Ravens.
Yeah.
That's ring chasing.
And you said he's 20. You said he's 28?
No, Nuke is 31.
Yeah, I was gonna sound like this.
Jair Alexander.
Yeah. I was talking about Jair Alexander.
Okay, I was like, there's no there's no way he's 28 years old.
No. Nuke was drafted in 2013.
I was
getting up there.
Yeah. Wow.
So he looks like 33 now. Yeah. So the other thing I want to say about the Ravens here, fantasy football take. I think Zay Flowers is a great pick this year. I think that he goes in the 5th round because he doesn't score a lot of touchdowns. But the thing is, touchdowns are very fluky. The league leader last year was James Cook, running with Josh Allen at the goal line, somehow led in touchdowns. Even for that, it was Raheem Mostert. Touchdowns just come and go all over the place. Even for that, it was Jamal Williams. Last year, Terry McLaurin smashed because he scored 12 touchdowns after scoring 6 on average every season. Zay Flowers has never scored more than 4, but there's no reason in this offense, especially if the Ravens aren't playing with the lead every game like last year, that he doesn't score 10 touchdowns. If he does that with everything else, he is going to finish as a top 5 wide receiver. So in the 5th round, I think Zay Flowers is definitely a wide receiver you want to look to take.
It's a good point about them being able to run the ball because they're up so much, though. That's problematic for a guy like Zay Flowers, but he's a very, very good football player.
Yes, it's the same thing as the A.J. Brown problem, right? The Eagles are so good that they run the ball every second half, so there's no passing volume for A.J. Brown, but you look at A.J. Brown, this dude is awesome.
Yeah. I
think Zay Flowers is capable of being efficient on a higher volume and then just scoring more touchdowns because they have to pass some more. Right? If he does everything he's done before, but he scores 10 touchdowns instead of 4, it's going to be an absolute smash season from the 5th round. So that's why I like Zay Flowers a lot this year. Cleve, overall thoughts on the AFC North here? Anything glaring you think that we missed or that I missed or that I got wrong?
No, I mean I took deference to where the Steelers kind of ended up, but you guys presented a great argument for it. So I mean we're only going to know when the season starts. So. Yeah. But yeah, I have no gripe with the order here.
Okay, perfect.
Sorry.
So now we are going to move on to the NFC North. So Cleve, what team do I have in last place in the NFC North, which I do think is the toughest division of football this year?
I'm trying to remember what my my over unders were, my wins losses were. I just can't. Do it.
So for me, I have in fourth place the Detroit Lions. No, I'm kidding, Scott. I have.
I kind of knew it was going to be the Bears.
Yes, I do have the Chicago Bears.
I was thinking I thought Minnesota, but I really got to hear this now. Like, let's go. Let's do it.
Yeah. So the Bears, again, this is a tough division, which really harms the Bears. Just like the Giants last week, I think the Bears could be much better this year and go 5-12 again. Right? Like they'd be a lot better on the field and still just lose the same number of games. So I think for the Bears this year, the win-loss record doesn't matter as much as like, hey, is Caleb Williams a lot better? Does the offense make sense? Did the defense stay really good? Are we building as maybe the Lions are falling off over the next years or so as Goff gets older, something like that? I think this is a true year zero for the Bears, and it's such a tough division. I don't really see them doing that great. They could go 7-10 and still finish fourth in this division because the division is so tight. Scott, what do you think?
The whole thing is, does the Ben Johnson, Caleb Williams marriage work? And I think there are significant problems in and around the way Caleb Williams plays quarterback that Ben Johnson's jump to Chicago might be viewed at even 2 years from now as very confusing. Ben Johnson needs kind of a Xanax. He doesn't need dynamicism from the quarterback. He wants a quarterback to play absolutely inside the structure of his offense and make the right progressions, the right reads, and make the throws to open players when they come open for very specific reasons. And that is not Caleb Williams' game at all.
Yeah, you said that better than I could ever say that, bro. Yeah. Wow. Almost lockstep.
I've been making notes. I'm just kidding. So it's like, I don't know what to expect from there. They did take Colston Loveland with the 10th pick. Obviously, he's going to be an important piece for them. Luther Burden was their second round pick. They very quickly, after Ben Johnson came aboard, they traded or brought, I'm not sure if it was trades or if it was free agency, but they added Joe Tooney, Drew Dahlman, and Jonah Jackson to the interior of their offensive line. It's kind of an important part of the things that Ben Johnson likes to do, but it's not relevant if your quarterback will not stay in the pocket. So there's a lot of confusion, and I'm not, it could work great. And because Caleb Williams he can do really dynamic things. It's just, will he be able to play within the structure of Ben Johnson's scheme? And how much frustration is there going to be from Ben Johnson in and around Caleb Williams' inability to play within the structure of that scheme? Who knows? But I think it's looking at this division, and Dave, I think you're right. I think it is the hardest division or the toughest division in football. Somebody's got to finish fourth. And, I think the Bears is where I would be leaning as well. And
I'm not high on Caleb as you guys are. I'm not as high on him. Sorry, Scott. He kind of has the trajectory of Trevor Lawrence to me. And the reason I'm saying that is because of the chaotic coaching thing around him. But Scott made the perfect thing is like, he's not Ben's guy because Ben didn't get there to draft him or whatever, or draft a quarterback. So to Scott's point, if I'm making this right, at some point Ben should get the quarterback that he wants to run the kind of offense he wants to run.
So I think that's traditionally you're right, but Caleb Williams is there and Ben Johnson went there to work with Caleb Williams. So to me, it's a little bit different. Like, you chose the destination because of the quarterback.
Yeah.
Not in spite of the quarterback.
And Ben Johnson had his pick of job.
Yeah.
Yeah, but then you pick it within the division. Like, that's
right.
The part that's
but that's it. He could have picked whatever job he wanted, So he doesn't get to say, I need to get my quarterback. Caleb Williams is his quarterback because he got to pick his job.
No. I'm saying he's going to say that in 2026. I mean, sorry, in 2027, 28. He's going to. These quarterbacks are on this win now thing because of the Jalen Daniels and the Shroud thing. Like the expectation now is what Trevor Lawrence had on his shoulders. Like, we expect you to come in here within a year, get your beak wet and place, win some ball games. But I think to Scott's point about this coach, about the structure. Sorry, my mic is just like dropping off. To Scott's point, I don't know if this is a perfect marriage, I guess is what I'm trying to say. We'll see.
We're going to find out.
We're going to find out. Yes.
Yeah. And so that's the thing the Bears fans should be looking for this year is, does it look like this marriage is going to work out? Not so much be as concerned with the wins and losses. And in fact, if it looks like things have improved, but you go 3-14 because you have a tough schedule and lost a couple heartbreakers or whatever, just get a better draft pick.
The reason I say that is because Ben has been on record praising like the other guy. I forgot the guy's name that's in camp now, saying that guy's getting it, right? Versus saying that your starting quarterback is getting it. So that's kind of, to me, an indictment. Like, hey, like, I'm glazing this other guy. You better get your shit together.
So Ben Johnson is also a hard ass who really does need to calm down. So I don't really take his coach speak because he would just say that. Like, I'm sick of all these coaches who want to pretend like they're Bill Parcells. There's one Bill Parcells. You're not Bill Parcells. Calm down. Like, also Ben Johnson's like what, 37?
Yeah.
Yeah. Put a sock in it, kid. Like, who are you yelling at anybody? Right. So,
it has the ability to be really volatile there.
Yeah.
It does.
Yeah. But if it works out, it'll work out really well. But it's not going to work out this year.
Yeah.
So now, Cleve, who do I have in third place in the toughest division of football?
It's got to be Minnesota.
He's going Green Bay.
I have the Green Bay Packers.
Oh my God. Okay. I'm not on my shit tonight.
This could be a playoff spot, by the way. Third place in this division could be a playoff spot, just like it was last year. So, I don't see this team as having gotten any better than last year. I don't really see where they improved. I don't think Matthew Golden, their wide receiver, I think he's going to be a fine player, not a difference maker. So just add another fine player to the receiver core, nothing that crazy. I don't think they really improved that much on defense on the line. I think they're sort of running it back again with the same team as last year. And the team last year was not good enough to compete with the Lions, and they're not going to be good enough to compete with the Lions again this year. And then the question is, Minnesota's running back almost the same team, but with an improved line, improved defense, and probably improved quarterback play. J.J. McCarthy's probably better than Sam Darnold. So
not this year, though.
Maybe not, but still, they made other changes to also be better. So for me, like, Green Bay has stayed static, and where they were was fine, but they didn't make any improvements to catch their main competition. And the other team that's competing with them directly did make some improvements. So that's why I have Green Bay here in third place. I do think they are actually in third place. I don't think they're close to the next team.
It makes me wonder the injuries to Jordan Love last year and how bad they were.
Mm-hmm.
He had the knee injury early in the season. I don't know that he ever really overcame that.
Yeah, from playing in Brazil.
Other stuff.
Yeah, that's the Brazil game, right? Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. And then, so, I mean, the Matthew Golden thing is, it's going to be simply, can he become wide receiver one on this? They really need somebody to emerge as wide receiver one there, because they have a slew of wide receiver twos and threes who's really struggled to catch the ball. I don't know if you guys watched their first preseason game, but it was just like, they were talking, their home announcers were talking about how great these guys looked in camp, and they're catching the ball, and Dobbs goes out and he gets hit in the hands. Nice pass. He drops it. It's just like, so I think they've improved at their wide receiver one spot, maybe not right away. And then the question is was the Jordan Love injury something that just derailed them all year? Because they didn't look right. They didn't look right even after he returned. He didn't look right. He didn't play to the level that he played at 2 years ago. I guess I'm just deferring to, was the injury something that really was problematic?
Mhm.
And if so, your point is still valid. They are just running it back with maybe an improved, wide receiver one. And if Golden is a dude, then maybe things take off for them and maybe it looks a lot better than we think. But yeah, I mean, they're clearly chasing. I think they're chasing Minnesota and Detroit.
Yeah, exactly the same. So, Cleve, does it make more sense when we got Green Bay in third now?
Yeah, it does. It does. And I love that guy Mikola Hardman as a VR, whatever the fuck that is. I don't know if that's I don't know what that is. Is that wide receiver? Okay.
Yeah.
Yes, I think it's supposed to be a WR.
Key additions.
Yeah.
Yeah.
but Mikola Hardman is about one more camp and drop pass away from being a rapper with Kadarius Toney. So he should be too worried about how he's labeled.
I knew that was coming.
He's borderline irrelevant, especially when like a guy like Christian Watson returns.
Yeah.
I was like, he's still in the league? Holy shit. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, and then you can see on their 200 quarterbacks, it is Malik Willis listed as a linebacker, which I think is a Freudian slip by the AI.
He'd be a really good linebacker.
He would. He'd be a really good linebacker. Okay, so Cleve, what team do I have in second place in the NFC North, the toughest division of football?
It has to be Minnesota because you guys are.
I think he's going Detroit.
It's a Detroit
man. Wow.
So I want to be very clear about.
Is this like a mind? It's like a mind game thing. Like you're just trying to psych it out.
No, I gamble for real. Those things
don't jinx you guys.
No, jinxes, that sort of superstitions don't work on me. I gamble too much for real. Like none of that stuff impacts me at all. I don't believe in jinxes. I'll tell a pitcher having a no hitter. I'll tell him right to his face, "Hey, you're having a no hitter," because it doesn't matter. Like none of that.
So hold up. So earmark that. So you played sports, right? You played like field hockey. I mean, I'm sorry, you played like ice hockey and all that.
Roller hockey. Yeah.
You didn't have like a ritual.
Yeah. No.
You didn't have like a ritual. Like you didn't like wear the same underwear for a game. Like you never had something that was a routine. You got to have oatmeal before you go for the big game. Nothing. You're not.
It's pretty amazing. It's pretty amazing what happens in your brain when you mostly stop believing in God at 12 years old and completely give up by 16. Like you could really start to give up a lot of stuff after that. Like once you're like, there's no heaven, then it's like, it doesn't matter if I sit in the same spot for the Lions to win. Like it's pretty easy after that. Like it doesn't, it just, once you get rid of the big thing, you can just throw all that stuff aside. It doesn't really get you after that. So
I always find out new things about you, man. Like,
yeah. Hey, so, by the way, I do want to point this out since it's political football that people like me who were raised Catholic but then left the church for like logical thinking through it sort of reasons, not like nothing happened to me is what I'm trying to say, right? Like so versus something like JD Vance who converts to Catholicism as an adult, I may have completely given up on Jesus and God and all of it, but I will always be closer to all the core of that stuff than somebody like JD Vance ever will. Because he's only attracted to it for the mysticism and the big shiny churches and the gold and and all that. When the whole thing is about community, right? So,
yeah,
like, because the thing is, when you just give it up, you can take whatever you want with you. So, like, don't be an asshole to people. Help out poor people, right? Like, you can keep all the good stuff, right? You keep all the stuff you want, right? Somebody like JD Vance doesn't want to inherit the stuff about it. He doesn't want to inherit. He just wants to go be able to meet the Pope. Right. But he doesn't want to do any real Pope work. So I just want to put that out there for any other fellow atheists, agnostics, whatever, especially those that weren't born into it, but were raised in the church and left the church. Like, just take from it whatever you want to take from it. Like, it doesn't, you don't have to give it. Yeah, you have to throw everything out. Some of the stuff you learn is going to be really good. Just take the words in red and keep it pushing.
I'm as superstitious as they come because I live my life in patterns. And like you go somewhere enough times, you end up working in that area or living in that area. Like it's like what's the law of attraction, the first law of the universe. Like I manifested coming to Alexandria, Virginia, like years before I did. Like I think I had watched like Remember the Titans and didn't know where this, where this place was, and then it just kept coming up, and then I got transferred out here for work. So I don't know if that's religious or if that's just happenstance or whatever, but I'm superstitious. Like when I played sports, I did the same things on those for certain games and certain things. I had like a routine. I had whether it was a breakfast that I had or had to talk to somebody on that day, that was it. And then if I didn't, I felt like it's gonna fall apart because I didn't do that.
Yeah.
So yeah,
I will say that I think that there's some power in superstitions, but the power isn't for the thing. Like your superstitions obviously haven't helped the Jets any, right?
No,
and ours wouldn't help the Lions, right?
Yeah.
But I do think that like for things that you have some personal control over, it's like the Deion Sanders thing, look good, feel good, play good.
Yeah.
So like say that you have like get some work done and you're like, oh, this is my spot where I sit to get work done.
Yeah.
Just feeling comfortable in your environment can help you do the work better. So even though it doesn't like actually matter where you sit, it could just help you feel a bit better. So I think there's a little something to that.
So the reason, all right, and then we can move on from this and get back to the football. Like we all have a side of the bed that we sleep on, right? We're all married, whatever. If you don't sleep on your side of the bed, I don't get a good night's sleep. That's a routine for me.
Doesn't matter to me in the slightest. I can flip sides, no problem, tomorrow.
I cannot sleep on the other unless she's not home. I cannot sleep on my side and feel like I've slept good. It's just weird. Scott, anything? Doesn't matter to you either.
No, I mean I've always been like superstitious in the dumbest ways. Like
no, Dave, it's not to be laughed at. I know exactly what he means.
I have done the dumbest shit. And the thing with superstitions, at least for me, is like I might do 10 different things. Like I have been in a casino and I've gone to the bathroom and turned my underwear around, like inside out,
okay,
and gone back out and lit it up. So that's kind of like a thing.
Holy
like
shit.
Yeah.
Wow.
So it's like
is that too much information? And that's what I'm talking about, Dave.
Yeah.
No. That's really good intel. That's exactly the thing I'm saying. Like for some reason it worked. It might have worked twice, and like all of a sudden, like that's the formula. I have to do that.
Yeah, and I think there's an energy around doing dumb shit. Yeah, there's an energy around doing the dumb stuff that sometimes opens you up to other things. Whatever, But yeah, I mean, I do that stuff pretty. I was wearing this shirt 3 years ago, and this team had a good comeback. So let's try it on. Oh wow, we got a pick. All right, it's the shirt. Come on. But, yeah.
That's exactly what I'm talking about, Dave.
Yeah.
That's all I meant by it.
Yeah, it's hard for me when, like I said, once you've given up the idea of like heaven being real and ever seeing your lost loved ones ever again, it's hard to be like, but this shirt's gonna make the Lions win. Like it's a big
I know.
Like what's even one, the other one.
Comfort.
Yes.
It's a comfort.
But again,
thing,
I don't think people should give up any superstitions they have that aren't causing any harm to anyone. Because if they help you bring comfort to your brain, then who cares?
Exactly.
Right.
And
so do it. Like I'm not telling people not to do it. I'm just saying I don't have them. Like it's just not gonna work on me anymore. It's just not gonna make me do what I want. Now, I have the Lions in second place here in the NFC North. The only reason I have this is because of their schedule. I think the Lions are the best team in the NFC North. I'm just predicting where they finish in the division. So I think the Lions are better than the Vikings. They lost the schedule draw.
Football.
Well, that's a statement.
No, yes, for coming from me, trust me.
Yes,
trust me, bro.
It
took a while. It took a lot of violence to get here, bro.
So I think that the Lions have too many question marks at one time in very important ways for them to hit the parlay of all of them working out to be as good as they were last year.
What are the question marks?
both coordinators
'cause
gone,
they were great
and Frank Ragnow gone.
They were great without a defense last year.
No, they were good on
Guys went
offense
down,
and
and you
defense
guys
last
still-
year.
Huh? Say again?
The offense was good, but the coordinator is gone now. So, like, what are the chances that the offensive coordinator, defensive coordinator, and offensive line can all combine in some way to be good enough to replace what was lost? The answer is not very much. It's very low. It's not impossible, but it's just a low thing to swing. Then you have things like Hutch is coming back. The defense will have players coming back. And I do think Jameson Williams is continuing to get better and better and better, right, to help offset that. So I think the Lions are going to be the best team again in the NFC North. I think last year's Lions would have trouble going and winning in Kansas City and in Baltimore and at the Rams and at all these other tough, and at the Eagles. These are the tough games they have this year. I don't think they're going to be as good this year as last year, and their schedule gets a lot harder. So while I think they'll be better than the Vikings, I think they'll finish maybe a game or two behind.
Last year, and again, I'm not a Kansas City hater or a Mahomes hater. They were so fucking beatable, and they were winning some bullshit games, right? They were winning some games they should have not won last year. They should have not won. They should have not gone to the Super Bowl, be honest with you. And
I'm not saying the Lions last year could not have gone to Kansas City and won, or not gone to Baltimore and won, or not gone to Philly and won. I think they could have done any of those things, but not all of them.
Okay, I just want to make sure.
Which is what they're going to have to do this year. So, and so that's the thing. Like, I think the Lions are worse than last year because it'd be hard for them not to be, right?
So I don't know that I understand what you're saying, and I think it's conventionally reasonable to say it, but as long as Dan Campbell is coaching this team, he sort of mitigates some of the Ben Johnson stuff. So yes, is the offense going to be a touch different? Yeah. Maybe the offense is better, Dave.
Maybe it is. Like, and that's the thing. However, we lost a top 3 offensive coordinator, top 6 offensive mind in the league last year.
I understand that, but the reason why Ben Johnson can be viewed that way is because you have Jahmyr Gibbs and David Montgomery, and you have Amon-Ra St. Brown and Jameson Williams, and you have
perfectly
Sam Laporta.
Scott.
You have all this stuff.
Perfectly.
And that stuff is still here, still ascending, still getting better. Jared Goff is still your quarterback, playing at a very high level. Dan Campbell is still in the building. And
that part.
By all accounts, it sounds like they're going to take some shots down the field that Ben Johnson refused to. And I mean, I don't think Ben Johnson's a great coordinator. I don't know how the whole head coach thing works for him. But just I think the idea that their offense is going to fall apart because Ben Johnson left is not. I don't think that's
not.
Let me be very clear.
That personnel is scary. That personnel is scary.
I'm not talking about you. I'm talking about the.
Yeah. I don't think the offense is going to fall apart. I think the Lions are going to be the best team in the toughest division of football. I think they're going to finish second place with their record because of the very difficult matchups that they have throughout the course of the season.
That's fair. The schedule's tough.
Yes. And so that's what I'm saying here. The Lions aren't going to be as good as last year, in my opinion, overall as a team. They're not going to win 15 games because, good Lord, I mean, that's just nobody should be predicting for that.
I think it would be impossible for them, not impossible. It would be unlikely for them not to be a better team than they were last year. They were 15-2 last year, but you played the majority of the season without Aiden Hutchinson. He's back. You played half the season without Aleem McNeil. He'll be back around the halfway mark, maybe a little sooner. You lost Carlton Davis. You lost. I mean, they had so many injuries on defense
by the end. There's no question about it.
So to me, it's like it'd be really hard for them to be worse than they were last year. I'm not talking record because 15-2 is ridiculous.
Yeah. No, we're
not
talking
going to be 15-2. Maybe they're 11-6, but they're going to be a better football team all across the board than they were last year.
Not on the offensive line.
I don't, I mean,
you cannot take Ragnow out of that and be like, they're going to be just as good on the offensive line. Ragnow,
they're not going to be just as good, but is the step down going to be something that derails them? I don't think so.
So I think it's fair to say that you don't think so, but their offensive line was top 2 in football last year. It was them and the Eagles.
Yeah.
If they drop to number 8, they can still have a really great offensive line. But if the offensive line is like, because Jared Goff never had to worry about getting hit, right?
Yeah.
Like he's clean always. And he had time for plays to develop. And there were holes for Gibbs and Montgomery to run through. If they drop from the Eagles to the 8th best offensive line, combined with the schedule they have to play, we really could be looking at a 9-8, 10-17, right? Because if their elite thing on offense, their elite traits was the offensive line. Amon-Ra St. Brown is not a top 3 wide receiver. Jahmyr Gibbs actually is a top 3 running back. What's a running back? Jared Goff is not a top 3 quarterback. The offensive line is where they have the Lamar Jackson, Josh Allen, Patrick Mahomes equivalent. And if they don't have that anymore, that's where I think they could be worse compared to last year, because they lose their actual true elite thing that they had.
They probably will take a small step back at the offensive line, especially on the interior. How long they take that step back, though, I don't know. I would tell you that Christian Mahogany is an upgrade at left guard from who played left guard for them last year. He just is. Significant upgrade. Zeitler was good last year. Ratledge is a very clear, he's a couple, notches down the ladder than what Zeitler was.
1 second, Scott. So Clev, Ratledge that we're talking about here, he's the offensive lineman on Georgia on the video game last year that kept crushing you.
Oh, okay.
That we talked about.
I was playing that
before.
Before we got on air tonight. Yeah, wow.
Yeah. So Scott, you weren't here.
Yeah. Go ahead, Dave.
I was gonna say, Scott, when you weren't here, Cleve and I were talking about College Football 25, and he said he kept going up against Georgia, and they kept having this guard that just kept absolutely destroying him every time he was playing. It turns out it was Tate Ratledge on the game. So he comes in. It's a good pedigree.
Tate Ratledge will play at a reasonable level for them, and there won't be a huge drop from Zeitler to Ratledge. So at the 2 guards, I think it's kind of a wash. You get better left guard play, you get a little worse right guard play, or a worse right guard play, but it's not going to be like dysfunctional. So the entire thing is, what does Graham Glasgow do as a center for you? Whereas he's a better center than he is as a guard. It's clearly not as good as what Ragnow was. Not close. Yeah. But is that enough to be like a significant drop? It could be, but the thing, I guess the one problem I have with the whole thing is you have projected a team that has a quarterback who came in needing reps and needing time, didn't get any last year, in some ways struggling a touch in camp, in some ways this year, and that guy's going to beat everybody in this division. I don't know. I don't know. I mean, he's essentially a rookie quarterback. That's tough. Somebody has to finish first. So, I mean, it could be Minnesota. They're a good team. They're a really good team.
The issue with them having just a slight drop off on the offensive line is that from the higher up you are, the more significant even small drops are. For example, picking 2nd overall in the draft is way more different than picking 8th. Far more than picking 22nd or 28th. They're both just 6 spots. But 2 to 8 is much bigger. And I think the Lions are going to go from the 2nd best offensive line to like 8 to 10. Not bad. Not a bad offensive line. But they're losing their elite trait. If the Chiefs had to trade Patrick Mahomes for Dak Prescott right now, all the fans start freaking out. I think Dak Prescott could win a Super Bowl quarterback in the Kansas City Chiefs, right? But they would be like, oh my God, we're going from Patrick Mahomes down to Dak Prescott. I feel like that's what happened with the Lions offensive line here. It's that is there one like real elite thing. They have a lot of other Jahmyr Gibbs is elite, but they have a lot of like really other like Amon-Ra St. Brown is a top 7 wide receiver. Jared Goff is a number 10-ish quarterback, right? They have a Sam Laporta as a number 5-ish tight end, somewhere in there. They have other like really, really good things, but no like super elite thing if the offensive line isn't that. And combined with the fact that they play all the other elite teams mostly on the road is what gives me the thing. We lose our elite thing, but we go to Baltimore to play Lamar Jackson. We lose our elite thing, but we go to the Eagles to play them. right?
I get it, but I think a lot of that stuff is stuffed in the first half of the season. The last 8 games of the season are really they're situated
That's
very
the
nicely
murderous row.
for Detroit.
Yeah.
But it's a tough schedule. It's undeniable.
Don't get me wrong. Go ahead, Khalid. Go ahead.
Yeah, I'm sorry. Outside the confines of what we're talking about the division. And the division, if we're talking about the division solely, you guys are the best team in that division. I agree with that. And I actually believe that given 1 or 2 games, you guys will kind of sweep this division because Caleb ain't shit. To Scott's point, we don't know if Love is still not the same guy from this injury that he dealt with last year. Who knows if that's a lingering thing or if that's a whatever is still going on. And I think you guys are better than Minnesota because to Scott's point, the personnel is still there. You just don't have the captain at the helm, but you still have the personnel. And again, head coach has his fingerprints all over this thing. And
He
I
does
think,
it. And so Alex made a comment, and
yeah.
it's important to recognize it. Like it's not like it's a new coordinator who's doing everything. Dan Campbell is the offensive mind in Detroit. He is still there. There's not going to be a totally different playbook with completely different things in a hey, we're going to throw out all the stuff that we did great the last couple of years. That's not what they're doing. So yeah,
they might try new shit.
Context around what they're going to be doing on offense matters.
Yeah. So to be clear, the Lions are making the playoffs, right? If they finish second in this division, I think that they're likely to be the top wild card team. Maybe Commanders or Eagles, however that shakes out over there. But I don't think the Lions are going to be bad. I don't think the Lions are going to have a bad season. I don't think the Lions are going to have a season where we're unhappy at the end of it. I think that by the time we get to the playoffs, though, having seen the games that have happened, it'll be very clear that the Lions are no longer in that top echelon tier of teams in the NFL. Last year, they were right there with Philly and Baltimore and Kansas City and Buffalo and all of them. And I think that this year, by the time this year is over, we'll see the Lions might be the best of that next tier, but they are not the Ravens, right? They are not the top team. Sort of like San Francisco now. Just like San Francisco is no longer up there. They were, and now they're gone. And I feel like we're starting that process here for Detroit. They're still going to be very good. They're going to a bunch of games. We're going to the playoffs. It just isn't.
Barring schedule. Sorry, Dave. Barring schedule, I think that'll actually make it even sweeter at the end of the season when we look back and see how you guys persevered through this murderous row. Because I agree with Scott on a lot what he said, and I'm not dismissing what you said, Dave, at all. I get the logic of how you're saying it. And I get the logic of saying how you're saying it about teams can be just as good, but they lose a touch. But the engine that goes in Detroit is Dan Campbell. And to Scott said it's earlier when we started talking about the segment. There might be some things that they could have done last year that Ben probably didn't want to do or Ben was opposed to, that Dan might get, okay, you know what? Let's take the top off this thing and see what we can do.
Well, they're definitely going to take more shots down the field.
Yes,
this year.
I see that.
I think Jameson Williams might. I think Jameson Williams might play his way out of Detroit this year because I think he might earn himself so much money the Lions actually can't afford to pay him.
I think you are right.
I think get ready, Clev. You might be coming to the Jets. I think we're looking at like $25 million a year for JMO after this season, and Aaron
just got there, bro.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So he'll be familiar, right? So that's why I think the case is there. I do not know why that keeps disappearing. 1 second here. So that does mean that, of course, that the Minnesota Vikings are the team that I have winning this division. Now, what I will say here for sure, I'm far more confident that the Lions and Vikings will finish some combination of first and second than I am that the Vikings will finish first. But the Lions and Vikings,
Okay.
despite it being the toughest division of football, will finish 1-2. Right, the Packers and Bears are looking up at them. Is like the more firm thing, because like obviously if Detroit wins this division, nobody can be shocked. Last 2 years, 150 games last year, like no, they can't shock anybody. The thing for me is that having watched JJ McCarthy for years now, he reminds me a lot of Jalen Hurts. Obviously not in the way that he plays, or in like how just obviously swagged out he is. But he just keeps getting better. Like he just always keeps getting like by leaps and bounds. And I have a feeling that JJ McCarthy is going to be the rookie quarterback this year that surprises. Right? Last year it was Daniels. The year before it was Stroud. I don't think it's going to be Cam Ward this year. I think he'll be fine. But he's not going to be like super great. It's not going to be Dart. Right? It's going to be JJ McCarthy. As Scott said, he's effectively a rookie. This is the rookie that's going to do it this year, because part of the reason he got so good so fast at Michigan is his intelligence and ability to understand the game. So he doesn't just need to be on the field going through reps, right? If he's taking information in, he's taking it in. Kevin O'Connell's system will not be too much for him, right? He has Justin Jefferson and Jordan Addison and TJ Hawkinson, and they play like 12 games indoors this year. I think that the Vikings are going to get better quarterback play more consistently this year than they got out of Darnold last year. And for that reason, they're going to win this division.
Dude, Darnold was awesome last year.
I was going to, bro, like that's a very high fucking bar, though. That's a very high bar. Like I wouldn't have gone. I was right up with you up until you said that. That was lights out football by Darnold last year.
Until it wasn't
lights out
football,
right?
Until the Bills came.
Yeah, I mean, he had to turn back into a pumpkin at some point. I get it.
Right, but don't forget that point was in a must-win game against Detroit. Winner gets the first round bye, and he got obliterated.
I mean, then
he got obliterated.
Yeah, that's. I mean that's experience. Like he didn't see that spot until then. Hopefully he's learned from it wherever he goes or wherever
I agree with you. Sam Darnold has never played championship football. JJ McCarthy has.
Yeah.
So
okay. Well,
Yeah. I'm trying to think like what quarterback would we realistically put on Minnesota then, where we think that they for sure are better than Detroit. It's definitely Mahomes, Allen, Lamar. If we put them in Minnesota, we make them the favorites. What about like if we flip Jared Goff and JJ McCarthy, we for sure say Minnesota's the favorite, right?
Yeah, I think even if you put Darnold back with the Vikings, you could make the argument that because of the schedule, Minnesota should.
How about Baker Mayfield?
Oh yeah.
How about Trevor Lawrence?
Yeah. I don't know.
How about
no Tua?
How about Matt Stafford?
He's very accurate.
With the back stuff, I no.
Healthy Matt Stafford.
No.
Yeah. With
Tua. We put Tua on the Vikings
and Addison. Yeah.
We put
Tua on the Vikings in a dome. He's gonna kill. It's gonna kill.
So my take is simply this: JJ McCarthy will be better this year than Tua. That's my take. Because if Tua on the Vikings makes them a favorite, then all JJ has to do is be better than Tua or Baker Mayfield. Or like, and that's what I'm saying he's going to do. I'm not saying he's going to be Patrick Mahomes, but he's going to be better than Tua, and that is going.
I just think that's tough. That's tough to do for a rookie.
In a really tough ass division.
Yeah,
yeah, in a tough ass division. That's that part right there, dude. That part right there. He's never done it on this level yet. So
the other thing he has going for him that the Lions don't really have going for them, although it'll be much better than last year, is the defense. Because Brian Flores should be a head coach. And he is an insane defensive coordinator. And he's probably the best coordinator in the division now. And not just defense, but just in general. If they made even more additions to their defense that was already good last year, I think that JJ McCarthy have a much better defense to help him out as well. Again, if the Lions end up winning this division, no shock whatsoever.
Yeah.
But that schedule is brutal for the Lions. And Jared Goff is not good on the road. He's not good outdoors. You have to play all the best teams outdoors on the road. Like, the Lions have a very uphill battle. I think all things considered, the Lions are the better team. Minnesota has the better situation, and they're close enough to where they're going to pip the Lions at the end to win the division. Lions clearly in second, gap down to Green Bay and Chicago.
Okay.
All right. Well, hey, we reached consensus. Look at that.
Well, I said we'll see. So
yeah, we're gonna see.
I just have a problem with the Lions not being. Well, we know what it is, so we know what it is.
Yeah.
No matter what this slideshow says, we know what it is.
And it's understandable because the schedule is brutal. It just is. But
yeah, and I'm predicting finish in the division, which takes all the games into account. I'm not saying who I think is best. So
it's good.
Yep. All right. Excellent.
We can disagree on some of this stuff. It's okay.
Yeah. Here.
And again, it's gonna be a close one. So next week, do you guys want to do the South divisions or the West divisions?
You pick.
South.
Okay.
All right.
Yeah, just get rid of them. Yeah.
Yeah, I had a pretty strong opinion, but I wanted to see if you guys both disagreed. I would have just switched it up. So we'll be going South divisions next week, which means we'll be able to talk about Danny Dimes, Trevor Lawrence, other great quarterbacks, Baker Mayfield, all Cleve's favorites. We'll be able to discuss.
I'm probably a Baker guy. That's it.
Yeah, we'll be able to discuss next week here. Scott, any final words before we get out of here?
Nope. I'm good.
Cleve, you got something for us?
What did you guys and each of you can answer the whole thing with the Shador glazing? Like, what did you guys think? Think it was premature? Like, what were your thoughts? He had a great game, but it was a preseason game. Like, what did you guys think about the performance? What did you guys think about like, did it change anything in your minds? Did you guys think that he should have gone earlier? Obviously, we no one here thought 5th round. But what did you think when you saw him play?
Scott, I have a fully formed take, so you can go first if you like.
I thought he looked really good in whatever it was that was in front of him, regardless of who he was playing against. He did go against some of the opponent's first string defense. He did look really good. He threw 2 really nice touchdown passes. He looks fine. He looked fine.
Yeah.
Yes.
But I mean, this is the first step to doing everything he needs to do that's in his control.
So he had a really good game. His 2 touchdown passes were not shocking to me. He has one elite skill, and we saw it on those plays. The man can throw a dot up to 25 yards downfield. I mean, he's basically a lethal shooter up to like 20 yards, right? Like, I mean, he is really accurate with the football. So that first touchdown was gorgeous. You know, evades the pressure, gets out of the pocket, sets his feet, throws an accurate pass through 3 defenders. Nobody's ever doubted he can do that. He should not have been a 5th round pick. He should have been a 2nd round pick. He was a 5th round pick because of all the extra bullshit. Should have been a 2nd round pick on merit as a prospect. I don't think his performance for a 2nd round pick would have been all that surprising or all that shocking or all that glaze-worthy. I think Shador Sanders is a career NFL backup who will do a very good job filling in when he has to. I think Shador Sanders is like a really good Gardner Minshew. And I would expect Gardner Minshew in the preseason to play well. So this doesn't change my opinion much. I think other people's opinions have been way too all over the place and been wrong. Top 5 pick, insane. 5th round pick, insane. Right? He should have been a 2nd round pick. He played like you'd expect a 2nd round pick to play. And he showed off the things that should have made him a 2nd round pick in the first place. His arm strength, still not there. His accuracy that deep, still not there. You saw him get bailed out by the one-handed catch by the one guy. Right? So I think everybody's been way too all over the place on this guy. He should have been a 2nd round pick. He'll be a backup. He'll be a backup most of the time in the NFL. And if he gets a chance to start, it won't be an auto loss for his teams, which is good.
I think he's the X factor or the delta in the equation for me, because I agree with what both of you guys said, for the most part, is the going out there without the reps. And Scott, you're closer to football than we are, like actual in the trenches now with that stuff than we are. I'm so removed from it years now that he didn't get the reps with those guys, the timing, all the good stuff. And what would he have looked like with that? Like a fair shot at that is something to behold. I think he quieted some of his critics by just going out there and playing football. It's something he's done his whole life. And there's a lot of people in the league. There's a lot of players in the league, quarterbacks, that we've seen over the years that didn't flash like that, never flashed like that for the most part. But I hope the young man does get a shot somewhere. I think Cleveland is probably not the place for him.
First round picks in their first preseason game who don't look like that.
No. Right. But the issue with Shedeur is everything's unpolished.
Yeah. With reps. So
I think
that was my only thing with that.
Here, Shedeur is Geno Smith. That's literally who he is. Like, he's almost exactly Geno Smith. So, no, I don't think he's going to be a great starter in the league. Maybe he gets a shot later. Maybe he keeps getting better as he gets older, like Geno did, and eventually becomes a starter and whatever. But, like, Geno should not have been a second-round pick, should not have been starting early in his career, was a backup for a long time, got an opportunity older, made the most of it. I would not be shocked to see Shedeur do something similar, but when judging his performance, we really shouldn't judge him as a fifth-round pick because he only went in the fifth round because of bullshit. It's like judging Jalen Hurts as a second-round pick or Lamar as the last pick of the first round.
There's no consideration for me that where he was drafted. It's irrelevant.
Right. It's just not the first. As long as we agree that the top 5 was insane, he's a second-round level prospect, which is where he should have gone.
No, what I'm saying is
when
I'm watching him play in that game, whether he was the first pick in the draft or the last pick in the draft doesn't factor into what I'm thinking or what I'm looking at. And I thought he played really well.
Yeah.
Who cares where he was drafted? He played really well.
Well, where he's drafted sets the expectation.
I was going to say that. But
there is no expectation. Like, most guys come in and struggle. They look inaccurate. They look like Quinn Ewers at times. Like, there's moments where it just looks like it's too fast for them, or they're hurried, or all of that stuff. He had a couple of plays where it looked like, hey, this is Colorado all over again. You're scrambling. You've scrambled 40 yards negative from the line of scrimmage.
That was a surprise for me. The scrambling was a surprise for me because he has some escapability out of the pocket.
He does. He always has.
I wasn't expecting him to run that much.
That's
again,
because
you're playing in the NFL.
That's because in college he could just go, fuck it, Travis down there somewhere and throw it. Right. So you have to scramble. He'd be like, where's Hunter?
But he's always had that. But he's
true.
always had a little more escapability than people think. But whatever. I thought he was fine.
But he wants to be known as a pocket pat. Like, he wants to be a pocket guy. He doesn't think run first. He'll move the pocket, but he doesn't think run first.
He's like CJ Stroud. He can go if he has to, but he doesn't really want to. But here's what I'm saying, Scott. If Joe Coxlam, undrafted free agent quarterback out of South Louisiana, DeVry State, came into a preseason game and played like that, we'd all be like, "Holy crap! Look at this! Who's Joe Coxlam?" Like, where you get drafted does sort of set an expectation, right? And so, I'm just saying we should judge him as somebody who was drafted in the second round because that's where he actually should have been taken based on the merits of him as a prospect, not with all the bullshit that made him fall in the fifth round. That's fair.
Yeah, Alex Dart did look good, man. I'm kind of a little jealous of that. It looked good in his preseason game.
Yeah, Dart looked fine. I expect Jackson Dart to also look okay. He should have been a second round, late first round, whatever. Had the Giants traded up and taken Shedeur late in the first, I mean, It would have been the same.
That guy
idea,
for the
right?
the guy for the Saints, like he had a rocky start, and then he kind of got his sea legs, but he had a rocky. He came out through a pick six.
Tyler Shuck.
Yeah.
But in his defense, he is 43 now, so he got hit one time, and it gets another so.
Yeah, a lot of times these guys step in, even the early picks, and they look like, all right, this is a lot faster than I'm used to. I'm rattled. I don't, the pressure I'm seeing, there's bodies around me. I don't like it. I'm inaccurate. Fumbles. I mean, there's the Lions have a backup who's still 3 years in, can't perform to the level of what Shador or Dart did.
Well, of course not. He went to Tennessee.
But regardless, I mean, he's an NFL player now, and it's 3 years into his NFL career.
Yeah, you made the league.
Like
but that's Scott. That's what I was trying to say. That's what, to me, we agree in lockstep about the 5th round thing being like a humbling moment for him. Yeah, whether he helped himself or not. But there's guys that come in, Trevor Lawrence, and these guys were year 3, year 4. We're still waiting for them to be the guy that they were supposed to be, because again, some of these guys get stuff like, oh, can't miss since Marino or Elway or whatever, and they turn out to be nothing. Nothing at all.
It's true.
Yeah. So last thing for me here, and thank you everybody who joined us here live. Goes to the chat, Alex, Ben, really appreciate it. Thank you so much. Cleve, get off the show, go get on the game, and play as Tennessee, and play in their offense, and you will see just how easy it is to play quarterback at Tennessee. Every plays quarterback at Tennessee will go for 5,000 yards and 40 touchdowns every season. It is an incredible system. Not that Tennessee. It is an incredible system for college quarterbacks to put up numbers. If you have any talent at all, you will put up huge numbers there. So, like, just go see it for yourself. Anybody else who wants to, go get on CFB 25 or 26, play as Tennessee, because it's the same system, and you'll just be like, oh my God, of course the Lions backup sucks, because I just won the Heisman Trophy by week 3. All right, that's it for this week. We'll be back next week with the AFC and NFC South. Until then, peace.